It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here. Welcome to Mind Your Business. I am Jamillah Lodge, and I'm pleased to have you here, Rachel Simons, founder of Holistic Bermuda. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So before we get started, I'd love to give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Rachel. So I'm a mother of two little girls that are nearly 2 and 4. So that keeps me pretty busy.
Yeah.
And then along with that, I'm also an artist, an educator, and an entrepreneur.
Okay. And today we're talking about your entrepreneurial venture, Holistic Bermuda.
Absolutely.
So what is Holistic Bermuda?
Okay, so Holistic Bermuda is a business that I set up which delivers like sip and paint workshops, creative experiences. I do a lot of events for like birthday parties, also for like corporate clients, and then I started doing like ticketed events as well that are just sort of open to the public to come along and get their creative skills going.
That's exciting. So what made you decide that entrepreneurship was the way to go for you?
So I guess at first I didn't sort of see it because I've been an arts educator for 15 years. Mm-hmm. I've definitely got that entrepreneurial spirit in my family. My dad and brother and mum have run their own businesses. And then just over time I started to sort of realise there was this space in the market for this kind of creative, social, relaxed kind of arts experience that's not formal, it's not in the classroom,
right?
But it's outside of that. And then I was like, I think I can do this. I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah.
So I decided to. I was on maternity leave with my first daughter, and I was like, I'm going to start this now.
I love it.
And that's it.
So, I mean, it's nice that you had, I guess, family to kind of model after. So it's not completely foreign. You're like, they can do it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah.
So in terms of the journey, how has it been? Have you found it to be easy? Is it like second nature? You should have been doing this all along?
It's been good. Like, there's definitely been like things that I've learned on the way. I've definitely found, I feel like with Bermuda, the community has been really great to like forge relationships with, and I think having like a confidence to be like, I'm just going to pick up the phone and ring that business and be like, hey, what do you think about hosting some painting workshops and look at how we can make that work for both businesses. And I feel like there's been such a great response to that. So that side of it's been easy.
Yeah.
The numbers side as an artist are a little bit like. You know, the creative freedom, I'm all good with. It's taken me a little bit of more work to just get that bit figured out a little bit more. Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely been, but it's felt natural. And I feel like because it's sort of using a skill set that I already have as a teacher.
And I'm sure that makes it easier, right? Because it's not like you're having to learn a completely new market. This is part of you. You've been doing it for years, and now you're teaching. Like, how can I monetize it for myself?
Yeah. And I'm like, share it with, it's also nice to like work with adults, because I work with teenagers mostly all day, and just to kind of have like tap into like a different way of teaching. It's also not limited by like a curriculum or, school, you have more constraints to work with. So I really love that freedom to be like, we're going to paint some locust and wild honey leaves today in watercolour, and get to have that real sense of ownership over what those experiences look like.
So how do you decide like what you're going to do today? Is it just whatever hits you in the moment, whatever you're feeling that day, and you're like, this is what we're going to do?
Yeah, it can be. The inspiration sometimes hits pretty late.
Okay.
Where people are like, what's this class going to be
You're
on?
like,
and I'm like, Yeah, other times, like last night I did a moonscapes at the Botanist, and that one was a little bit more, it was thought out to time with the fact that we've had this amazing full moon this week. It's been beautiful. So just in the backdrop of us kind of painting through that in acrylics, Up It Popped as our perfect reference image of just like, see those craters we're trying to do? Here they are. So So some things, and I have found that people respond better. I think people do like to know. I have a lot of regular customers that come back and like to do different things. So I'm always trying to. I don't like doing the same.
Right.
That's
You're an
less
artist.
interesting for me. So I have a huge stack of canvases and demo paintings that I tend to do, and then my daughter paints my demo canvas back to white. That's her role in the business. And then I'm ready to go again.
You know what? It just never occurred to me that once it's painted, that you would paint it back white. Yeah. I'm like, that's now you have to hang it on the wall, or it has to be. But no, you just repaint it.
And that's what most people do. But, you know, for me, it's like I can recycle. I can reuse the canvas a few times.
It just didn't.
Yeah.
You know, because my daughter is an artist. She loves painting. And so we have all of these canvases. And I'm like, we got to get new. I'm like, girl, just paint that thing white.
A bit of white acrylic.
And you're done. And now.
Good to go. Anything's a painting surface if you just prime it. Pieces of wood.
Something today. See, you're teaching. You're still teaching. Okay, so now talking about the events and the things that you're doing and your inspiration and how you come up with the themes. Talk me through like the mediums. Like, are you all kinds of mediums, or is it primarily acrylic?
So we do. I'd started in acrylic. I'd say that's the most kind of standard sort of like sip and paint material. And then that's like quite straightforward to do a guided demo on. And then that's like a piece that's easily like hung for people when they take it away. I've then, like I'd say in the last year, just diversified a bit more, doing like, people love watercolour. Yeah. There's like this mystique and this sort of relaxing vibe to it that people are like, I want to know how to do that. Yeah. So I've added watercolour in. I'm also looking at doing some collage based workshops as well. Okay. So as an artist myself, I'm a dabbler. I like to
do a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Depends how I'm feeling. Yeah. I like to draw, to paint. I like textiles. So I'm starting to just kind of open up to, now I know that there's the demand there and the interest, to be like, we can try a few different things.
So I always thought myself an artiste. Like,
we need to get you along then.
I know. No, it's interesting because like growing up, I like drawing and painting and all of that. But then, you know, I'm not sure which side of the brain, left, right side, one of them takes over. And next thing you know, you're like, I got to eat. I got to pay bills. So forget that. How can I earn a living doing the thing that I actually enjoy doing? Yeah. But look, you figured out how to do it.
I'm getting there.
You figured it out. I love it. So you mentioned corporate partners and different things, birthday parties and all of that. So is there a targeted customer? Do you have like an ideal customer for what you offer, or is it?
It's pretty open, really. Okay. I think, you know, it's about the opportunities there for the minute somebody is willing to create that time out for themselves, that creative space.
Like if I wanted to like a one-on-one session, you do that too?
I tend to do bigger classes now, like more of the events, but I do private events. I also, because I was finding that I couldn't do as much work with smaller groups, I developed an area of the business where I do these takeout kits. So I put like the paint set together. It has a step-by-step guide. So that's pretty popular with like tourists. I like drop them off at the hotel and they'll do a little Bermuda seascape. Yeah. So I tend to work like that for like a smaller groups or individuals, or a date night. You know, don't always want me lurking in the background. So it's like, if you want to get cozy and do some nice painting at home, I'll give you all the stuff.
A horrible visual. I'm like, just... Focus. No, I think that's pretty cool. I think the fact that you thought about creating these kits is like art on the go, right?
Yeah.
It's very business of you, ma'am, if I must say. That's a very business, because that's something that it doesn't require a lot of time. I would think you can create these kits and have them ready for people to take and income is coming in. Meanwhile, you're doing the classes and things like that on
it's
the
a way
side.
to do like a more passive
Yeah,
revenue stream.
exactly.
And that wouldn't have been a term I could have thought about
I'm like,
using.
look at
But
you.
I did do the Ignite program this year,
Okay.
so that's helped me a little bit.
Well
with
done.
just, thinking some of these things through.
Yeah.
And rather than just saying, oh, I can't sort of accommodate that, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, how can I sort of make this fit? So not everybody wants to come out and paint in a big group with
Right.
people. That can be a little bit intimidating.
It can,
for some
especially if
people.
you're just on stick figures, right? You may not.
Yeah, maybe you want to just have a little go at home
Yeah.
and then be like, hey, I'll come to one of Rachel's classes next time.
Once they see
So-
how far I've come,
Yeah.
I want to show off my skill a little bit. No, but I think I'm making fun and laughing, but I think it's really important, especially for creatives. Sometimes they love the creative part and aspect of it. And like I said to you before, it's like, well, how do I earn a living and support my
Yeah.
children and pay my bills doing this thing that I love and I'm passionate about? So you have to kind of think outside of the box
Yeah.
and say, what can I do that I can still earn income if for some reason I can't get up and go host this class?
Yes.
How can I still be earning money? And those kits, I think, is a
Yeah.
perfect example of how you could do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've just launched I'm doing a pet portraits one because I do that as one of my events, pet portraits.
Yeah.
People love it. People love painting their pets.
Yes.
So with that one, I template it. So you send me a photo first. I template it so you've got like your guidance in pencil.
Yeah.
I then colour match so that you've got the right palette to depict your pet beautifully.
You, ma'am, are a genius. I mean, because I'm thinking, okay, I'm sitting and looking at this picture of my dog, it's Breeze, and I'm trying to draw him, but you're templating it, so
Yeah.
it's going to look like Breeze by the time I'm finished.
Absolutely.
You know what?
So-
You're
And just
bringing
having
it.
one skill, focusing on one skill, focusing on the painting.
Yeah.
Whereas if people came and you're like, right, sketch your dog out, now paint it, that's too much.
It's
So,
a lot,
yeah.
right? And it might discourage you because you're like, now the dog doesn't look like a Labradoodle anymore. It looks like,
Yeah, goes a little more abstract.
Yeah, exactly. I was going for abstract with that.
They were on the move.
No, that's another great idea, right? So you do the hard work, and then at the end of it, I'm excited because it looks exactly like my dog,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna take all the credit, by the way.
Yeah, just a little helping hand. That's all that's needed.
I'm not gonna mention the If anybody asks, I free-handed this all on my own.
There you go.
Okay, so seriously, the name Holistic, right?
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about how you arrived at that. Because the first thing I thought was, oh, we're going to be doing yoga. We're going to do meditation and mindfulness. So how do you link the two?
Yeah, and that tends to be where people's thoughts go.
Yeah.
But I feel like the creativity element of like holistic kind of well-being, if you really think about that creative space, it enhances your mood, it releases stress levels. It's kind of this area of mindfulness and focus that it's very much just an avenue to move through that can sit in that space with those other things that we more commonly think of first. So it definitely, arts is the focus, but the way you arrive at a class and the way you leave from a class, it's definitely feels like you've invested something in yourself for your own well-being.
Yeah.
And you leave with a little sense of accomplishment.
Right, because you physically have a
Yeah.
representation of what you just did. And I love that. Speaking about myself, like I said, remember I told you I used to like painting and all the art. And so one of the things I was like, okay, you are going to take a class. You're going to, and so I would agree with you. It is one of those things that you think, what can I do to kind of reconnect, become one with myself and that sort of thing. So interesting that you chose that name. Did you settle on that straight away or?
Yeah, it definitely just felt like a natural thing that just felt like I wanted to include that part. And that's an important part of when I'm putting these things together. That it's sort of that overall thing rather than just, I joke in the classes, we'll do a critique. It's not about that. That's not, that's not what we're doing. We're not judging. We're not doing that bit at the end. It's very much, it's like it's a feel-good activity. And some people have paints and stuff at home, but, it's making the conscious choice to be intentional and say, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes the class might kickstart that, or you might just need that habit to say, okay, I'm going to come out and I'm going to have a go at that.
Yeah.
And just sort of creating that time. So.
Okay, I'm learning stuff. So, in terms of this role, Holistic Bermuda, how are you and your mom, how are you managing the whole of it? Like, you know what I mean? Making time for your children, yourself, your art, your clients, etc., going and getting the business. How are you managing that whole part?
Definitely that I found the managing of it challenging. I took on, I'd often have assistants at the event, which are often like, could be like students at Bermuda College or ex-students of mine that will come and help with that aspect. I really have to be very good with my time and gracious with myself, that I have like these little power hours or these times when I know it can be productive, you know, emails after 8 p.m, things like that.
Right.
And I just have to sort of find ways to kind of compartmentalize different aspects of the business to just to be able to sort of make progress with it. I have got a little bit better with not sort of over scheduling. That Ignite helped me kind of manage a little bit, not trying to
do all the
accommodate.
things, right?
Like one time I had like three events, 3 back-to-back nights, and it was just, I mean, my car was just a big, like a moving paintmobile with just sets of canvases and paints, and I was like, this is too much,
right?
And I need to, I'm a little bit more mindful of how I schedule things now,
right?
Which definitely helps. And being present and being a mom, and
you have to be,
yeah,
because even though this is it's part of you, it's creative, it's something that you're really passionate about, it's still a business, and it could overtake some of the other things.
Yes.
The same thing you're trying to get us to do in terms of being holistic and reconnecting, you could kind of get overwhelmed if you let it, because of the business aspect, right? So you gotta
definitely that balance.
You gotta self-talk. You be like, I'm telling them to, be mindful. I need to do the same.
And I stopped writing in it. I had a I love my like handwritten, a visual planner. Like I like to record everything in my planner. But the problem with that, you can just keep adding stuff.
Yeah.
So I started to schedule it just in a digital calendar.
Okay.
And I blocked in things like family time, simple things like bath and bed routine with my children. And I blocked all of that in first, and then that helps me to really look at, when I'm looking at a month view, like what can go in here, what capacity do I have to run high quality events that's not at the cost of all those other things,
right?
And that really helped, just to, rather than trying to
fit
all of the business stuff in and then be like, this week's crazy.
I forgot I gotta feed the kids.
Yes, yeah, just a little bit more like put all of that in first, because that's what comes first, and build the business around that, and doing more isn't always better. That's true. That's a big lesson. Actually just having these events at regular times, don't need to sort of oversaturate the amount of times that I'm doing it. It's like a better quality experience. Leave them wanting more.
Yes.
Like, when's the next one?
I know. You're like, well, I have a waiting list, so you might. But I think that you're bringing up some good points that I think most of us need to hear. It's how you include your personal and your family time in your actual calendar. You know what I mean? Like, I live by my Outlook calendar, but I don't have bedtime routine, with my daughter in there, which is an opportunity, I think, because it's just as important, right? But it also gives you a holistic, like I did that.
Do like that.
A holistic look at your entire kind of life calendar, so that you can say, okay, no, I don't have time, so I'm not going to accept that because I know I have to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, a bit of colour coding. Got my husband's work schedule in there. Can really just see how, how our life fits together as a family.
Correct.
And how I can sort of deliver things. And that's been a really helpful tool.
Yeah. So talk to me, you mentioned it, so I'm going to ask you about your husband, and how has he supported, or how has it helped having a partner who supports your entrepreneurial ventures? Because, when you're working and you're getting a salary, that's kind of guaranteed income. You can budget accordingly because you know how much is coming in, versus when you're on your entrepreneurial journey, you really have to go out and get the business. So sometimes it's a bit unknown. How has having support from him, or how has that been when you're in this relationship?
Yeah, I mean, he's been amazing. Obviously, life is busy with our little ones.
Yes.
So there's a lot of
2
like
and 4.
logistics. Yeah, it's a time. But he's great. I mean, he also has that like love and interest of art. He likes to sketch.
Really?
So he's also my guinea pig sometimes when I'm testing out a new idea.
Yeah.
We'll have a little date night at home, and I'm like, I need to think through how I'm going to teach this style of working.
Yeah.
And he'll do it with me, and it helps me to really understand, like, okay, that bit's a little bit more difficult, or that takes longer than I thought. So he's such a good sport for doing that.
Oh, that's awesome. Well done, hubby. Because I do think it's important, in a conversation I had earlier, we were talking about identifying someone you can talk to, or an accountability partner, but it's wonderful if you have that in your own home, right?
Yeah, and you need that sounding board. I
Yeah.
mean, being an entrepreneur is lonely sometimes because you have to make all those decisions, and having someone to be like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, is this a good idea? Or like, do I need to, like, how to respond to this, like, inquiry? I think it's good to just have somebody that has that interest and that helps. So.
And that he's also kind of an artist is great.
Oh, yeah. Take full advantage of that.
Exactly, because you could be like, if he wasn't, you'd be like, you do not know what you're talking about. So, but the fact that he does is great.
My trickier customer is my eldest daughter.
Oh, really?
I do some events for the Mama organisation. So I'll do some, like, we did a Halloween, like, kind of family sip and paint in the half term. And she has come to a couple of my classes before, but she doesn't want my guidance. She just mix and mix and mix. And we have that many brown paintings at home that are everywhere. Because I'm like, you just go for it. I'm not going to restrict her. But I'm like, oh, you need to clean your brush off. And it's very much like, no, I'm doing it.
I know what I'm
way.
doing.
Yeah. So
I'm going for brown.
Yeah. It's like, you do you. We've got a lot of abstract pieces.
Yeah.
And that's, that's how we're doing things.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe when she's a little older,
she'll be like, maybe. Let me just watch. She probably still couldn't tell it. She's like, let me just pay attention. I love that, though, because that's all part of it, right? The expression. It's like you have to learn by doing.
Yeah.
She'll eventually be like, if I put all the colors, I'm only going to get the one color. So maybe.
Yeah. It'll come.
Shades of brown. So now that you've been doing this, has 2 years?
Nearly 4 years.
Nearly 4 years. Okay. So has there been a time when you have been like, pinch myself, I can't believe I actually did the thing? And if there has been, can you tell me about when that was?
Yeah, so I just think that sometimes you're so busy, like, sort of doing the hustle and trying to make everything work. I think just sometimes those moments where you step back, like in the flow of an event, and be like, hey, this is working. I do these painting on the veranda sessions at Got to Go Green in Somerset. It's an eco store that's in the old Springfield National Trust building.
Okay.
It's beautiful
It
there.
is.
Some people think it's my house, and I'm
I
like, no, I wish.
I wish. I love that property.
It's gorgeous.
It really is.
And I had a watercolour workshop there over the weekend, and it was pouring of rain that afternoon, but it was so magical. And I was just watching everybody, like, that step back moment and seeing them, like, do that. And I was like, I've managed to put this together.
You did that.
And sort of partner with Donna, who runs Got to Go Green, getting people to see her great products that she has. So I also really like that collaboration with other small businesses as well.
Yeah.
Making it kind of work for both of you. But yeah, it's those moments. Sometimes I need like 3 of me in an event, like one to photograph, one to teach, one to help tidy, one to refresh the paint water. But just those little pauses of just like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
This is a nice way to spend the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I do really love it, so it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And I think that's the realisation when you know that you're doing the right thing.
When you're getting paid to do something that you love.
Yeah.
But it's good that you take the time to reflect on all of the work. Like it's been 4 years, you know where you started and you know where you are now. So I think sometimes, like you said, it can be lonely and you so used to doing all the things you rarely take time to congratulate.
Yeah, that's
You know
so
what I
true.
mean? And recognize the work that you've done, that you've put in to get to where you currently
Yeah,
are.
you don't really pause and reflect that
No,
often. Like
no.
2 years ago, I was kind of taking, it was all like cash payments at the events or
Mm-hmm.
transfers, and it was all very complicated with like monitoring all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I take for granted that I'm like have my website set up and you
Yeah.
just click the button and book it. And it's like, that's great that I got to that point.
Yeah.
Like it was the way of doing things before was
Mm-hmm.
a longer road, but
Mm-hmm.
when you're starting out, you just kind of learning how to do everything.
Yeah.
And then just when you start to streamline things, I'm just like, goodness, that saves me a lot of time. I
Exactly.
just get my little emails
There
and I'm
you
like,
go.
yay, another booking. This is great.
Yes. So talking about like online and digital and, of course, AI and all of
Yeah.
that. So do you utilize AI and digital tools as you are doing your art and creating?
Yeah, so I'd sometimes use it for like reference images if I'm trying to combine like different aspects
Okay.
to sort of like create if I've got like a specific theme in mind, I might like use that as a tool to sort of generate some imagery.
Okay.
So that's one way of using it. I've started using it more in my like marketing, things like that, and just like again that time saving element. Whereas I think once you spend the time to do that bit of training with you, like to get it to use your voice and your
Yeah.
tone a little bit more,
Yeah.
I found it a really good tool for just helping me do those things more efficiently. I still feel like I'm a bit of a rookie. I feel like there's a lot to know about it. And then
Yes.
also there's the other part of me is the artist that loves to do everything by hand. But
Yes.
there's like a little bit of a tension there sometimes with like wanting to sort of always do it in that way
Yeah.
versus sort of leaning on the digital. So, but I'm definitely coming round to it and realizing that it's like advantageous.
Yeah. Because it can help save you time, right?
Yes, yeah.
Be more
That's the
efficient for
value.
for the things that you don't need to do. Like you still have to create, you still have to show people how to do it. But the other stuff, if
Yeah.
somebody else can do that part, and it frees you up to do some of the things
Yeah,
that
the
you love
marketing
doing.
I find can be very all-consuming, especially for the events.
Yes.
You have to stop. You have to put stuff out there. Like the minute you stop doing that, it's like you gotta
People are like,
gotta
where are you?
promote.
Where's she
Yeah,
go? Yeah.
like I took some time off over the summer, and then you really had to just kind of put the word back out of what's
Reintroduce
coming
yourself.
back up.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
just that bit all takes time. I do use a scheduling software now,
Yes.
which is good. So it's just like I have this one window, nap time on the weekend, schedule everything, get it all set up for the
That's
week,
right. And
I'm
then it can
like,
just go.
then it's just happening
Yes.
without me.
Yes.
So I think some of it's control. It's giving over that control to those tools, to the scheduling.
I never
and
thought
just,
of it like
yeah.
that. I'm like, I'm controlling the tool. It's not controlling me. But that's interesting to hear you say that. So, in terms of what's next for Holistic Bermuda, like what do you envision it to be?
So a couple of new chapters. I feel like now I've kind of got my real kind of steady flow of my ticketed events that I have a few of each month, and then I
Okay.
have like my private events and things. But I'm starting collaborating with Naima Khan from LPS. She does
Okay.
these beautiful Bermuda journals. So we're working together on a half-day retreat in January. And that's going to be at the Retreat House on the South Shore, which overlooks Horseshoe. It's just such a stunning property.
Where?
It's Jess Burns. It's just set back. It's this yellow building, and it has this beautiful moon gate. There's a pool up there.
Oh.
It's a
That sounds very
very
fancy.
stunning spot. So a couple of other companies use it for like weekend retreats.
Got you. Okay.
And so we're going to do like a very sort of intentional kind of beginning to the year, where we'll do kind of an introduction to like manifestation and like really think about for the new year what you want to hold on to, what you want to release, and then move through a flow where we'll do some like visual journaling, some collage, and sort of like put some of those intentions and ideas for the new year, like together. So it'll be kind of like rather than the sort of 2-year class, it's like an afternoon.
Okay.
There's like more pieces in there.
Okay.
And that's been really fun to collaborate. Love working with other people.
That's
to
good.
sort of have that energy to bounce off. We bring
yeah.
different skill sets to it. And then Jess, who runs the retreat house, she was in my cohort for Ignite, so it also feels kind of cool to
that you
connect and
reconnecting.
be like, hey, like we were up there yesterday doing some photography, and it was just such good energy. We were all so excited, just kind of staging a few shots for it. So looking at kind of adding like an additional layer of like perhaps that becomes like a quarterly experience that's tied to each season. And that there's some like very intentional ways of like perhaps revisiting what you set out in January, or like doing a different kind of art making.
Because we got to follow up. Did you do the thing you said you was going to do? We are your creative accountability partners.
There we go. Yeah, just these little checkpoints.
Yeah, let's just make sure that you manifested the thing that you said you were going to do.
Exactly. So we're excited about that.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, Jamillah, get your life in order. Figure out what you're going to do. Because I'm not just saying it because you're here, but it's one of those things that I've always said, when you think about, well, what can you do for yourself to, reconnect with your younger self or who you were before you had the kids and the husband and all that good stuff. And art was one of those things. So it's interesting that we're here having this conversation.
Yes.
So that was lovely. Believe it or not, it's been 30 minutes.
Well,
it goes fast, right? Especially when you're having fun. But so for this upcoming retreat that's going to happen in January, and for people who just want to book you and say, yes, I want to do the thing, how can people find out more? So
website is holisticbda.com. So that's a good one-stop shop with all the events, like how to book like a private event, the takeout kits, all of those elements. Holistic Bermuda on Instagram and on LinkedIn. Is a good place to find me as well. And I always kind of have all my little updates on there, doing a little bit better with, having that continuous presence across those platforms.
That's right. So even when you go on vacation, it's still
pinging things out.
Right. You're like, I'm not gone. I'm just taking a break. No, it has been lovely speaking with you. I love that we got a chance to kind of see inside Holistic Bermuda and how it actually all works. Good luck. All the best.
Well, I'm going to see you and your daughter at a class at some point.
I know.
We'll be dropping
do you
off a
do
little
like
takeout
mommy-daughter things?
Well, I have some regular customers that bring their daughters or their sons along,
So it does, there's now no age specific,
there's no
really?
age restricted. Anybody that wants to. I have like a really wide range of people that come along, regular customers or people that bring their kids along. It's very open. It's not a kind of 18 plus. Sometimes there's a real special thing about having that mother-daughter experience together. So all classes are open, and then I do some of the set children's ones or the family format. But everything's open. Anybody that's willing and keen and wants to give it a go.
Well, you just might see me. You just might see me because, like I said, my daughter is she loves art. And, I'm living vicariously through her, right? So it'd be nice to kind of connect with her on that level. Yeah. Be like, Mommy has skills too,
Yeah, there we go.
Look, I really do appreciate you for coming and minding your business with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And remember, if you don't mind your business, who will?
It's true.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.